thanks for joining us. This is Soccer Talk with the Soul. I'm Adam Deal. I'm your host today. We're going to go over a lot of stuff, right? The Soul with a couple of monster wins this last weekend. We've got highlights there. We've also got a lot of highlights from the Confederates Cup that just got underway, so that coming up. But now to introduce our guests for this first segment, of course, President of the Albuquerque Soul, Ron Patel, on the far side, and then our insider, the man Dan Lodge, right next to me. This segment, World of Soccer, guys, we're going to go over some of those highlights in the Confederates Cup and talk a little bit of VAR. If you don't know what that is, you're going to know here in just a moment, right, good or bad, or why it's being used at least right now. And this segment brought to you by Recarnation. Guys, we talk about the Confederates Cup, and what's fun to me is actually, and I always forget this, is we got international cups every summer. So I always ask myself, what am I going to do this summer? Like, what am I going to watch? You know, NBA just ended, and what am I going to watch? There's always an international event. Now the Confederates Cup, which traditionally is in the host country. That's going to be the World Cup next year. So this year in Russia, and so that just got underway, and so it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, Dan?
It is. You know, I mean, I think that, you know, for us fans who really follow the Premier League and you got that, you know, 12-week gap or so, it's nice to have an international tournament, and especially during transfer season, you get to see all these players that are linked to your teams, and you get to see some like youth players coming out and playing for the national team, so get some recognition as well. And I think some of these players in the Confederations Cup will be moving probably to the Premier League.
Ron?
So I went to the World Cup in 2006, and it was a life-changing experience. And I would love to go to Russia next year to see England and the United States play overseas. I'm just scared to death to go over there. But so I think this would be a good warm-up.
You wouldn't make the travel? You wouldn't go?
A little worried about the Russian fans, to be honest. Look what happened in France in the Euros with the violence with Russian fans and English fans.
And it's not like wearing an England shirt will make it any safer for them.
It will not make it any safer.
It's going to be rough almost anywhere, right, a little bit. I mean, even in Brazil, this last World Cup, which, I mean, it feels like the other day, and now we're talking about the next World Cup somehow. But, I mean, you know, with all the theft and, you know, just all kinds of stuff that was going on.
There's always going to be stuff, but it is. You know, for us soccer junkies, it's a great tournament to be able to see high-level soccer. We've seen some great games this week. I know we'll have some highlights coming up, but it's just great to see. And then teams putting in the good players too. You know, Ronaldo's playing for Portugal, and Mexico's got their stars out there, and New Zealand's got their stars out there too. Almost pulled a win this week. So.
Well, let's get to some highlights, and we'll start with the second game in the Confederates Cup, as Russia won the first game, as traditionally host always gets the first game. And so Portugal versus Mexico, always interesting when you've got Cristiano Ronaldo and Chicharito.
Off the crossbar.
Ronaldo.
And guys, this is where we'll get into the conversation.
And it was in, right?
The goal counted, but then it was later reviewed, new rule, and they took it back. Did not count. And so there was actually a few goals that didn't count in this one, right? Look at this.
That is a fantastic
Javier
header.
Hernandez with the header, and we're level at 1.
And the deflection.
Deflection, guys, that's good.
It's going to be 2-1 Portugal, right? But the head off the inside of the post, and Mexico tied it up.
Hector Moreno, he's the hero to get the draw. Proves to be a very important draw, because who's going to come out of that group? Very interesting group, right, with Russia, and who knows who's going to come out now, because a big win just a moment ago for Portugal against Russia, right? Cristiano Ronaldo gets a goal, and of course he gets a goal, and so Portugal with 4 points, now Mexico with 4 points, and also Russia. So
yeah, it's actually funny, because if you look, we're just a couple of games in. Portugal's won a game. Well, if you look at the Euros, they did not win a single game in the group stage. They qualified in third and won the Euros.
And remember,
so, I mean, we're 2 games in, they've already won.
Which was a new
exactly
new
right. So I mean, a technicality got them through in the Euros, and they carried themselves through to the final.
Technicality, a change to the format.
Depends how you look at it.
It's an Arsenal fan's perspective. I
don't like Ronaldo, right? I don't want him to win anything. So yeah, it's interesting. Portugal's looking good. Mexico's looking good.
Before we get to another highlight, we're going to say this, but I feel like it's fitting because of that game with the video review, right? And there was a few goals that was taken back. You saw that very first goal that was taken back, and they look at it, and there was an offsides. And how deep does the play go where they get to decide it's offsides? I just think there's a lot of work to go on this thing.
It seems like they're going back 5 minutes in the action. Was there any? That guy was picking his nose. I'm not for this. I think I'm for making the game better, but I don't know if this is really making the game better.
beg to differ, right? I mean, if I can look at things throughout history, right? I mean, if you look at 2006 losing in the Champions League final with Barcelona offsides, I mean, I think that's a prime example that any Arsenal fan will gladly track back 11 years to replace. But I mean, if you look at the last couple of seasons,
you can take
right?
England in the World Cup against Germany,
right? I mean, Diego Maradona. I mean, there's so many huge things throughout time.
United States also. I mean, where do you go though with this video review? Do you remember the quarterfinals? The United States against Germany, a blatant handball in the last 5 minutes to give them a penalty to maybe drop. But where do you go with this?
I definitely think it has to be limited, right? I mean, I think that if we have to define some thing in place where it's going to be, only a certain amount of things. So we start trying to do offsides and this and that. It's just going to stop the game. And I think what everyone loves about soccer is the fluidity, right?
Exactly.
Constantly moving sport. But if it's a...
And I appreciate you backing up my thoughts
if it's someone goes down in the box. Well, if you've already given a penalty, it makes no difference to turn around and review. If it's a goal, turn around and review. I mean, I would say that if we're getting into the started nitpicking into the actual play, I think that's going to be different. But I think if it's if the play is stopped, an extra 30 seconds to me, I'd rather turn around and say, okay, that was a blatant dive.
Right, but I don't want to be taking 4 or 5 minutes to decide.
That's the biggest piece of the game, in timing your run to be onside or offsides. And if you're tricky about it, and maybe you are a little bit offsides, but the linesman doesn't catch it, I think it's part of the way your run goes, even if you're offsides. And I think it's part of the game. Diving in the box, whether people like it or not, if you're smart about it and you sold it right, that's part of the game. If you sold the referee, you've sold yourself a PK. And Dan, you should know more than anybody about how you flop around.
You were a diver. What are you talking about? I was just thinking that in my head, thinking, yeah, I wouldn't support him because
this is ASL experience speaking.
I played with him. He dives all the time. Trust me.
This guy. All right, let's get into our next highlight. And this was later that day in Chile, taking on Cameroon, and it took a while to break it, right, for Chile.
It did. Vidal's been a great player for Bayern, and always
that was
stepping
a
up.
goal, but they called it off.
Again, another one reviewed and retracted. I mean, I'm sure that's very close, and the human eye can miss that.
Look at that. I mean, that's why it shouldn't be reviewed, and that's a beautiful goal. And of course, it's Arturo Vidal in the 81st minute, so it's broke open, and then we go to extra time and then finish it off. Chile. The goal, Eduardo Vargas.
Yes.
So Chile with the 2-0. Guys, Chile's dangerous. I think they're the team to beat. They're going to play, we're filming this, and you're not going to see this, but they're going to play Germany. I'm curious about that one. Germany has a little bit of a younger team in this tournament. Germany did win, but they won in a tight one, 3-2 against Australia, right, which is a curious result.
They've got a good squad. I mean, they're set up very well. They're a good team, right? I mean, I wouldn't say they've got tons of huge stars, right? I mean, you've got Alexis Sanchez, you've got Vidal, you've got Vargas, who's debatably a star. But I would say that the way they play very well together. I mean, if you look at this game here, Alexis Sanchez wasn't playing, kind of holding an injury.
The last couple of
they have
Copa Americas, and they've proven it. I mean, it was penalties in the last tournament, but they've proven that they're a good team together. And the Germans, of course, are always the Germans, and they're
phenomenal.
Very, very well versed team.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Their B squad can beat most A squads, right? I mean, it's kind of crazy to look at, except for maybe France. France's B squads.
Okay, so let's shift gears now. We'll stay away from the Confederates
to misery. Is that where you want to go? To misery for us Englishmen?
That's because that's what you guys have to deal with. England versus Scotland. Dan, I'll let you take this one.
Wow. We'll just skip to the 70th minute because
nothing
probably fall asleep for the first 70, but Oxlade-Chamberlain, I mean, phenomenal, great season, breakthrough season.
This is the substitute that came on, right, Lee Griffith?
Yeah, Griffith, I mean, just what a free kick. And after this game, this one should have been saved, in my opinion. Really would like to have been saved as well. England having to save ourselves against a team, quite frankly,
and the
we should have beaten.
Keeper actually had a great save right before this that came out before the equalizing goal.
But Harry Kane done what Harry Kane has done all season, right? I mean, he's scored, I don't know, it's like 29 goals in 31 games. Does it for England too. Despise the guy because he plays for Spurs, but he's definitely a finisher.
I want England to get your hopes up because, in 1 year
you do not have to worry about that, Adam. I am always hopeful and then disappointed.
I know you will be in 1 year from now. You're going to be talking about, England has a chance. Here we come, England. Where you're going to talk about your.
Do you realize how many young stars we have?
Yeah. From doing the show with me for a while now. I mean, I'm the eternal optimist for English football.
Yes.
The expectations now, though, have dropped. After the Iceland loss in the Euros, going out 2-1 to just an incredible team. I have nothing but respect for Iceland. The expectations of the English fans have dropped. Would you agree with me on
disagree.
that?
I would,
Because this happens all the time, though, guys, and then you're gonna find.
But you got to realize that
we no longer think we're good.
You're talking
That's the
to
thing. We no
people over
longer think
30,
we're
right?
good.
So we've grown up our whole lives watching this team that has had these huge expectations and then blown it. So then you get to this stage and you're like, who knows, right? I mean, we've had all these big expectations, we've had all these stars, now you get these younger players coming in who have less expectations, and you think to yourself, maybe all those expectations were what's wrong with us, and now maybe these players can come and freely play, and then they just do exactly what England does every single international
It's my
tournament
job to point out the defaults of England. Okay.
Now, why
that's
don't we
my
have the
job.
highlights in the U20 World Cup here? Because we won the World Cup.
Right.
And the
I don't even know
U20s
what
are
you're
coming up
talking- no one
through
even
the
know
rank.
what you're- no
The
one even knows
U20 World
That
Cup.
should be good for you
England-
because Dominic Solanke is moving from Chelsea to Liverpool.
Oh, excellent. I
Okay,
didn't know
so
that one.
speaking of moving, and we always do this with Dan just because his knowledge of this is just ridiculous.
We just give it to him.
Give us some transfer news or some transfer thoughts,
Man,
rumblings.
there's so much activity already going on. I mean, everybody's linked with everyone. Realistic, if you look at the Premier League, you know, there's so much money coming in from the TV money that, you know, you saw the Pogba sale last year, and that was like mind-blowing, right? 90-some million. Well, now you're looking at, you got Kylian Mbappe from Monaco, who's, you know, rumored to have up to 140 million euro offer from Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Arsenal's in the chase, Man United, Man City. Every single big team is chasing this 18-year-old. He's phenomenal. And if you look at the way the market's gone, if you spent 100 million a day, could be worth 150 million next year, right? I mean, so it's like to judge the inflation is crazy, right? Because you guys looking at these like different.
What about Cristiano Ronaldo? What are you hearing? What do you think?
You know, honestly, he's got a tax scandal. He wants Real Madrid to pay for his tax scandal. I really don't. Right? I mean, Mourinho, I don't think is going to take him. I think he's still scoring goals. I don't think he's in his prime per se, although he's at his best season, right?
The Champions League.
Look at Zlatan, right? 35 years old and took the Premier League by storm. I don't think Ronaldo couldn't do it. I'm just thinking to myself, is Man United going to spend the money on a 32-year-old that they're going to have to spend to get Ronaldo?
How many
Which will
years
be
does he have? Does he have 1, 2 years
Guys,
left?
he
What do you
looks
think?
as sharp as ever right
He's
now.
like superhumanly fit, right? And if Zlatan can play till 35, I don't see Ronaldo not being able to play until he's 35, right? So, I mean, I would say you'd get 3 good years out of Ronaldo. But the thing is if you can buy an 18-year-old for the same price who has the potential to be that player, would you want him for 12 to 15 years or Ronaldo for 3 years,
After
right?
this season, I mean, there's just no doubt. I think he's still him, and it's him and Messi, and he proved it in the Champions League.
Yeah.
He was just phenomenal, classic finishes, as fast as he's been, as smart as he's ever been, and I would take the risk. I mean, you talk about an 18-year-old. I think an 18-year-old's a bigger risk.
Yeah, absolutely, potentially, right? But then you look at resale value, which I say what a lot of clubs do, because you can turn around and in 3 years, Ronaldo's 35, probably going to do what Zlatan do, is probably going to go to the LA Galaxy. When 5 years, Kylian Mbappe is going to be 23 years old, 3 years away from his prime. The way the market's going, he could be worth 350 million in 5 years, right?
All right, so another name you think that might be making a move?
Well, Griezmann's not going anywhere, and I think that was a big one. I think the biggest thing right now is Lewandowski from Bayern Munich is rumored to be not happy. Chelsea has sent a text message to Diego Costa telling him he is no longer welcome. So now they're looking for a replacement. So they've been linked with Mbappe.
How do you know that?
Hey, that's that's the best way to break up with a chick, right? So I think that Chelsea's going to heavily pursue them.
You also get dating advice from Dan Locke.
Right.
How lucky are you?
It's a 2-for-1 here, right?
Lover's Lane.
So I think Chelsea, everyone in the Premier League, I mean, is making these big moves. Man City's already spent probably 150 million and is not stopping. I mean, and they've got a phenomenally young team, which is very scary. I'm worried for Arsenal not being in the Champions League spending money. You guys should be very happy with Salah and Van Dijk if you can get him, right? So,
if it's allowed.
Yeah, it's
it's been on, it's been off, it's been on, it's been off.
Well, you got these whole rules where you can't actually talk to a player without permission.
Yeah, can you go for the viewers that don't know those rules? Can you kind of go over?
Yeah, so I mean, when you're under contract with a team, another team cannot just approach a player about joining their team. It has to be approved by probably Football Association or the club itself. So, for example, Liverpool pursued Van Dijk. They got into conversations with him illegally, and then basically what they did is when Southampton turned around and said, okay, we're going to go to the FA and we're going to have you guys was reprimanded. Liverpool came back and said, hey, you know what, I'm sorry, we won't pursue him, and then Southampton kind of dropped it. So
you have to go to the girl's father for permission
Pretty
to
much.
ask for a night out at the movies.
Absolutely.
You guys have a lot of advice going on here, right? Jeez. Okay. We always appreciate Dan Love.
Of course.
He's the man. He's our
Thank
insider.
you.
He knows all of it. Back in a moment, Lucas Cash. Who is he? You should know, but you'll find out here soon.
The Cash Man.
We wanted to support soccer as a whole. So when we saw the opportunity to try to create a home or a hub and support the Soul while doing it, we thought it'd be a great idea. When I saw what the Soul were doing, I thought, how can we bridge the gap and try to get the youth soccer involved with the Soul soccer and try to bring those things together and at the same time provide support to the Soul through things like watch parties and getting people excited about it. You'll find that there's a lot of people that relate to this game on an international basis, on a local basis, whether it's the MLS or just a team like the Soul that they can get involved with in their community and feel associated with and supported. We went to an RSL game and it was just mind-boggling how many fans were there, the type of support they had, and it was exciting. And I think that Albuquerque's the type of community that could probably support something like that if we could make it happen.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today. Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school letter jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Back at it, Soccer Talk with the Soul. I'm Adam Deal. This segment brought to you by Clark's Pet Supply. Now, the social media director with the Albuquerque Soul, joining me and Ron Patel, and that is Lucas Cash. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Adam?
We're good. Good. Having some fun. Tell us, how did you get involved with Ron and the Albuquerque Soul?
Well, you know, they always say that New Mexico is the biggest little state in the union, right?
Sure.
And so my boss at the University of New Mexico is actually an old friend of Ron's. And he approached me and he said, you know, I have this buddy, Ron Patel. He has this site, ABQ What's Brewing. Why don't you take a look at it and see if you can provide any insights for engaging different individuals? Because that's kind of my specialty, is online community building, engaging millennials and newer populations. And so I sent him this really random off-the-wall tweet and said, hey, I have some ideas for your site. Love to get together and talk about it. And he accepted. So we got together.
Some people meet on Harmony, other people meet on Twitter, and we got on Twitter, right?
Right, and so we got together. We kind of had a really good rapport going. We worked on a couple of other projects together, and then Ron uttered the words that I had been waiting for him to utter, which is, do you want to help out with the Soul? And I said, 100%, what do you want me to do? I mean, I didn't care if it was putting up the signs before the game, but luckily he gave me the keys to the castle, in my opinion, which is the opportunity to engage our fans and our followers through all of our social media.
And so far, tell me about the success of that.
I think we've had a tremendous amount of success. I think in previous years it was one of those things where all these tasks had to be done by so few hands, and so having me really exclusively focusing on that, I think has allowed us to be A, more proactive, B, more timely. I mean, we're getting stuff up every day, and C, it allows me to interact with the followers, which I think is a huge part of it, that we can't just put stuff up there and expect people to behold it like audience members. It's got to be a community, it's got to be a conversation, and it's got to be something where everyone's opinion gets to come to the table, and so that's been tremendous.
So this is different platforms, yes? Is it just Twitter that you focus on, Facebook?
So we engage most predominantly on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now on game days, our big heavy focus is going to be on Twitter, and one of the most fun things that I had never done before that I've gotten to do is live tweet a game. And so I think Ron would be the first to point out that there has been a steady improvement in my ability to live tweet. The first game I was trying to post everything across all the boards. I was writing these basic essays about what was going on, and he said,
points,
yeah.
Right?
And at St. Pius, where the Wi-Fi is limited, so he's trying to like get in the right spot with the Wi-Fi on his computer, and then put stuff on his phone.
Upload a video.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. And 15 minutes later,
so it was a learning curve a little bit for you.
Absolutely, 100%. But he's a very gracious man, and so he wrote me after, and he said everything looks great, and I made him
anything but gracious. I want everybody to understand.
But I appreciate the kind words, Mr. Cash.
But he wrote me, and I replied to him, and I said, all it's going to do is get better, and I think it has. And you know, you're going to be talking to some of the players later, and I cannot stress enough how much they make my job easier. You know, if they had any sense of arrogance or they had any sense of closed-mindedness towards me, it would be incredibly hard to introduce them to the fans. And really, at its base level, that's what I see myself as a hype man for these players. I want people to know their faces and their outstanding talent, so when they're big time, people remember where they got their start.
It's been, sorry to interrupt, it's been great too, because again, like Lucas alluded to, you know, Larry and I started this thing 4 years ago, and for a few years it was really us two having to do the bulk of the work. We'd have interns help on game day, but you know, Lucas is here all the time to help with this stuff, and even on game day when we're trying to coordinate everything that's going on and make sure the live stream that you're doing and you guys do an awesome job of is working, and then trying to tweet the updates and get on Facebook and Instagram. It's so nice to have someone that's skillful and talented talented and has a way better knack for this than I do. A lot of time I would just post a picture and that was it. You know, Lucas will take that picture and put the right narrative with it and really get people engaging with the post.
So Lucas comes to you and he writes you on Twitter. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, all right, yeah, here's a guy that says he wants to help out, but he probably just wants to get into a game or two. But I went and had coffee with him over at UNM where he works, and I really saw something that I was like, wow, this guy has got a fire inside of him in a good way. And he just wants to make the community better. And I think his goals and his personality aligns a lot with us. You know, we always talk about we're not a soccer team really. We're a community building organization under the guise of a soccer team, right. And it's passionate partners. You know, a lot of the sponsors that are in our team, they believe in the same things we believe in, and know why we're doing what we do. And Lucas just embodies that, and he's perfect for it. And
Are you originally a soccer fan?
No, actually I was not. I mean, I kept up with the World Cup. I was one of those. You know, there's churchgoers who only go to church on Easter and Christmas. I was one of those people that was only a soccer fan doing World Cup, right?
Okay.
And then I was surprised. I told Ron after the third game, I severely underestimated how into this I would get. I mean, in our game against FC Tucson, one of our players took a hard foul, and it took everything in me not to run out there, right? Like, as the social media manager, I mean, we probably would have gone viral, but I probably wouldn't have been allowed to be the social media manager anymore.
That's partially doing your job.
Sort of. And I think at this point, and I hope this is true, that the players really do see me as an advocate. And the reason I think I got so into it is because of what Ron said earlier, that it's about more than a soccer team. If he was some aristocratic fat cat who walked around the stadium, you know, drinking bourbon and smoking cigars and trying to make a pretty penny.
Part of that is correct.
I probably
I'm not going to say which part.
Next commercial break, that's what we'll be.
I probably wouldn't have been into it, but you know, he says right on the Twitter page, our goal is to unite and elevate. And I'm one of those individuals that I look at what's happening in our city, in our state, in our country, and there is plenty of negativity. So when someone comes and says, I want to unite and elevate, that's a cause I can get behind. And another thing I told him is this: my kids, I want them to grow up in this atmosphere. I want them to have that sort of old country feel of being into a soccer team. And so I was able to take my 7-year-old out with me to one of the games. He sat with me up in the booth, and he fell in love with one of the players and just asked me every time, you know, how did he do? Tell him he's my favorite player. And it's just really become this thing that it's so much more than soccer. And yeah, in that process, I've become an enormous soccer fan, so much so that my other coworkers can't really stand me because I'm saying stuff like, hey boys, you want to go grab some lunch and catch some confed cup over in the sub? And they're like, whatever. So it's really been quite the metamorphosis.
It's been really great because, you know, we've got so many team members. Obviously Lucas is a great one. We've got so many other team members, the coaching staff, people that really are worth way more than they are paid, because we're building this thing still, but they see what we're trying to build, and we couldn't get this far if it wasn't for people like Lucas, like our coaching staff, people like Fred, who's our operations manager, Gabby and Livy, and I could keep naming off names of all the young men and women that helped put us there. And I think the players see it too. You know, they're in what I believe to be a professional environment. We want to make it more and more professional for the players, because the league we're in, the PDL, is about developing young men, both on and off the soccer field. And we try to do that. And the stats show that any PDL game you go to, the odds are 5 or 6 of them are going to be playing on ESPN in the pros very shortly. So we just want to provide the best environment possible, and having team members like Lucas allows us to do that. We're doing a great player profile pieces right now that Lucas is putting up on the website and around the social media, and it's all telling the stories of the players, who they are and where they come from and how they got here. When they came in the beginning of the summer, we had a meeting with them and said, this is the soul. This is the badge you wear it with pride, and it's bigger than any one of us, any group of us. It's become this, it's this very powerful
thing. I'm going to put you on the spot. You know,
sure.
Rate Lucas. How has he done? Have you seen a big?
Well, I've got his report card right here.
Yeah.
No, Lucas has been fantastic. I definitely give him an A. He's
not an A+. He's an A, Lucas.
Because he's so much more.
I'm a B student.
He's so much more than just a social media manager.
I was a C student, so it's
C's
okay.
equal degrees.
You can have someone fill a role, right? You can have someone go do their job under this job description. But for someone that has the passion, as you can see from listening to him talk, and someone that's completely bought in to what we're doing, it's so much more than a job. And he's part of this movement. So
great. Well, hey, listen, where can people find find Soul on Twitter and Facebook?
So yeah, on our Facebook stuff, just look for Albuquerque Soul FC. The Twitter handle is ABQ Soul FC, and same on Instagram. And we have a great community going. We'd love to see it grow. We are just on the cusp of getting to 9,000, and so that's really become one of those numbers.
Get to 9,000, and you promise them what, $1 million?
I promise I will do an amusing dance for them so that they can lob insults my way.
I literally want to see that. Okay, first to 9,000 gets a tweet of a dance of Lucas Cash.
Heard it here.
Ridiculous.
100%. You heard it here.
Okay, that's like official. We're putting that out. We're going to tweet this part of the video out too.
I'm telling you, we're going to have to. Thanks, Adam.
All right, back in a moment. Let's meet some of the players, and then we got highlights to go through. 2 big wins for the Soul. Come on back.
We wanted to support soccer as a whole. So when we saw the opportunity to try to create a home or a hub and support the Soul while doing it, we thought it'd be a great idea. When I saw what the Soul were doing, I thought, how can we bridge the gap and try to get the youth soccer involved with the Soul soccer and try to bring those things together and at the same time provide support to the Soul through things like watch parties and getting people excited about it. You'll find that there's a lot of people that relate to this game on an international basis, on a local basis, whether it's the MLS or just a team like the Soul that they can get involved with in their community and feel associated with and supported. We went to an RSL game and it was just mind-boggling how many fans were there, the type of support they had, and it was exciting. And I think that Albuquerque's the type of community that could probably support something like that if we could make it happen.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Soccer Talk with the Soul. I'm Adam Deal. Glad you could join us. Well, the ABQ Soul had a monster weekend, and we're going to go over that. We're going to start with some players here in just a second, but this segment brought to you by Star Brothers Brewing Company. Now let's meet some of these guys. Center mid, Sammy Kasai on my far side over here, and also now in the middle, Tom Paul. Center back, guys, appreciate you joining us.
Oh, thank you.
First off, I'll start with you, Sammy. What's your experience like so far here in Albuquerque?
My experience has been well. I mean, I feel as when I came in, coaching staff helped me get into the lineup and make me feel at home. Whereas other teams, it takes you time to feel comfortable and build a bond with the team. I feel like Larry, Dave, the whole staff been very well.
Where are you from and where are you playing outside of the Soul?
Maryland. Both me and Tom go to University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
So quite a difference, right, Maryland?
Yeah, totally
to Albuquerque.
Totally
Tom, what do you think so far?
I'm loving my time here. Yeah, it's been great. Everyone's been really welcoming. The coaching staff, Ron, Larry, brilliant. The lads are great. It's been fantastic. Yeah, I've really enjoyed myself.
Obviously, a really slow start for you guys, right? I mean, you were dropping contests and a couple of draws, but the wins weren't coming. How frustrating was that? And I'll start with you.
Yeah, it was really frustrating, but we know we've got a quality team and practice every day. We're training well. We're doing the right things, and we knew the results would come eventually. So,
Sammy, was this something that was difficult?
It was frustrating because I feel as our performance wasn't the end I don't know, we was losing the first
Your
game.
Performance was better than the results that were actually happening.
It was 3-0 first half. We outplayed the opponent. Both of the games we played, we have lost. Since I've been here, we outplayed them. It's just I don't know, the end product wasn't there just yet for the first 2-3 games. But then whereas the last 2 games we played, we were up 1-0 and we kept our own and some much better results.
Well, let's get to one of those results, and we're going to go to the highlight right now of this last Thursday, and this was against Colorado Rapids U23 squad. This was at St. Pius High School over at Ben Rios Memorial, and so needing a result in the biggest of ways. And you guys, you're wearing that pink jersey, right, representing some cancer awareness.
Yep.
Nice look.
Yeah.
And but you needed the result, and you had a nice build from the back. And talk to so yeah, come get that rock back. Fight for it. Sammy, I'm assuming that's you, right? Yeah. It was a beautiful build. And then go negative with it. The Bangu right across the 6. Luke Lawrence comes through. Maybe a little pressure off of you guys, huh? As you get the 1-0 lead, and you watch it in slow-mo again, Sammy doing his thing. Again, ball through, and then the one time by Luke Lawrence. It's a classic finish. Yeah. So tell me, that's a good win. Just tell me about it.
Again, I mean, the first 2-3 games, it wasn't the results that we wanted, and we needed a result that game, especially to get back in the race, to get back in the table hunt, to hopefully go to the playoffs. So that was huge, very huge for us, especially that gave us confidence to go and win again back at home in New Mexico. So it was very huge.
All right, now I'm going to get back to you, Tom Paul. Obviously you got the accent. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Manchester, England, and I came to America 3 years ago to study at the same college as Sammy, UMBC in Baltimore, Maryland.
So you a United fan or City?
I'm a City fan. Yeah.
City
fan, yeah.
Okay. City's been a lot better
all my
as
family.
of late, huh?
Yeah, all my family.
It's probably been a nice few years.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Let me ask you this. I'm always curious to ask everyone this: what do you think about American football? What do you think about the soccer here, as what it's portrayed to? Back in England as compared to when you actually come here and you play with Americans. What do you think?
It's a lot better than people give it credit.
Yeah.
It's getting better, it's growing, and I'm sure eventually it will take over, and yeah, it's definitely growing, and it's good.
And Sammy, I think you could vouch for this. This sport's getting more popular by the year here in America.
I mean, again, now we have MLS being the top level, and then you got USL. And you got NASL, and I think it's growing big time now. At least we have more than one more division to play at the next level. Whereas a couple of years, I think it was 2, I don't know. But now it's definitely growing. We have more divisions as well. Whereas in England, obviously it's not the same because they have division, maybe like the 7, 8.
Yeah, it goes on. Crazy, yeah.
You're just growing up differently, and you guys won't be able to speak to this. I can. I mean, playing, when I was younger, wasn't the popular sport to play. And in fact, sometimes you maybe even got fun of it. You're called like a field fairy or something, and no one really understood how physical the game was. Right as I went through high school, and then it started to get more popular to college. Now, it's if you're playing soccer, you're actually considered an athlete, right? And as 20 years ago, that wasn't the case, right, in America. So it's definitely grown. Listen, best of luck to both of you. Appreciate you stepping on.
Thank you very much.
Keep it going. Keep these wins going, right? Semi Side, Tom, Paul. Back with more. We've got highlights and more players to come here. Soccer Talk with the Soul.
We wanted to support soccer as a whole. So when we saw the opportunity to try to create a home or a hub and support the Soul while doing it, we thought it'd be a great idea. When I saw what the Soul were doing, I thought, how can we bridge the gap and try to get the youth soccer involved with the Soul soccer and try to bring those things together and at the same time provide support to the Soul through things like watch parties and getting people excited about it. You'll find that there's a lot of people that relate to this game on an international basis, on a local basis, whether it's the MLS or just a team like the Soul that they can get involved with in their community and feel associated with and supported. We went to an RSL game and it was just mind-boggling how many fans were there, the type of support they had, and it was exciting. And I think that Albuquerque's the type of community that could probably support something like that if we could make it happen.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewnetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Soccer Talk with the Soul back at it. I'm Adam Deal. Glad you could join us. The Soul had a monster week with 2 wins. We went over the Thursday game in the win 1-0, and then another big game on Saturday, this time at the UNM soccer field, and needing another big win. So a couple more players with the Albuquerque Soul now joining me. On the far side, it's Nicolas Perez from Ecuador, and then Seb Gray from England. Guys, appreciate you coming on. What's going on?
It's good. It's good.
So you get the wins. You needed them, right? And does it feel good? I'll start with you, Nicholas. I mean, this is something you needed, these 2
wins.
I
think like the first 3 games, as Sammy said before, we were playing better than the other teams. It's not that we lost the game. I think we just needed to take our chances, and that came on the weekend, the past weekend, and hopefully tomorrow we get on the road to get another win.
Seb, was it a weight off your shoulders a little bit to get a couple wins?
Yes, definitely. I think the wins were needed. You know, the morale of the team definitely went straight up, and I think a bonus was that it was against an MLS affiliate side, so, you know, take credit from that.
Okay, let's take a look now at Saturday's game as we've got highlights for it. So again, it's against the same team, right? It's Colorado Rapids, their U23 team. So here we go. This from UNM, which draw the big crowd, I believe 1,800 plus, which was nice. And from the very get-go, you guys were able to control tempo and be able to possess the ball a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think we dominated more the second half, of course, but the first half we were in possession of the ball too a lot.
That's a fantastic finish there. DuPont with the left foot, that upper netting, and it's 1-0. And watch it again. You can't miss from there, right?
Nah.
Better not miss from there. So it's 1-0. We go to the 51st minute on top, second half, and again, just beautiful possession. You're able to move it across, right?
Yeah, I think we moved the ball well that game as well.
So this was, I believe, 18 passes or something. Until it led to this goal, and you were able to move it well. How were you able to move it better in this game than most games?
I think the pitch definitely helped. The difference between
faster pace really on it. It's a little bit wider, isn't it?
Yeah. The difference between Pius and UNM is, well, Pius is a really thick grass. That's thinner. The surface is more responsive.
Also better for more of a dribbler's dream, right? When you have thinner grass, the ball will roll a little bit as to where Ben reels. So it's very nice grass, thick, and you get caught up almost when you're trying to, pull scissors or coif or something. But I mean, look at this. You're still moving the ball. It's still going. Finally, the finish on the other end, and it's 2-0. Jack Clancy comes through. The Soul, you guys on top all the way into the 52nd minute. Now you got to be feeling good about yourselves, huh?
Yeah, totally. I think we worked over the week to possess the ball like that and be patient, wait for the right moment, and that's a perfect example of what we needed to do.
It's a beautiful ball in and a classy finish, nice and easy for Clancy, but not done yet. 2-0 the lead and looking for more. I love the celebration of this one the best. It's Tommy Ramos with the finish in front of the 6, and give me a little Tommy gun. What do you give him? Do you give him a B? What do you give him on that celebration? What is it?
It's creative. I'll give him that.
B+.
Yeah.
Okay, B+. Watch it again one more time. Finish Ramos right in front of the 6. If you miss from there, you're cut. That's promise. Okay, I'll start with you, Seb. So you're from England. I want to ask you the same question. What do you think about American soccer now that you're here and you're playing?
I agree with Tom. It's a lot more credit deserved than people make it out to be. But yeah, it's growing, and it's growing faster than I thought it'd be. So yeah, it's definitely going to get up there.
Where are you currently playing besides the Soul, obviously?
I currently play at Waldorf University. It's a small school located in Iowa. We play in the NAIA. So.
How do you like it?
It's a good school, good quality school. Coaching staff there is nice. It's a nice school. I like it there.
It's good to be able to go to the PDL and keep playing competitively too with other great college players or players maybe just outside of college and looking to play the next level, though. Keep your fitness and everything through the summer, yeah?
Yes, definitely. I think it's key, especially if you want to progress. You want to keep playing, just keep your fitness up.
And Mr. Perez, where are you currently playing?
I'm at Fort Lewis in Durango, Fort Lewis College.
Beautiful school, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's nice with the mountains and everything.
Well, rich tradition as well in Division II. How's your experience been there so far?
at Fort Lewis.
Yeah.
It's been great. I think even though we haven't had the best seasons the past two, I think that coach has done a great job recruiting for next year, and hopefully we'll have a great year.
What's wild is when I played, this is way before you guys, right? Fort Lewis had won the national championship twice in the 3 years that I was playing D2, and so they were kind of the prestige school to be at. Plus, the campus is amazing. Does it get any better than the campus there? It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's perfect, and it's kind of similar for where I'm from, in the mountains in Ecuador.
So talk about that a little bit. Ecuador, the transition to coming and playing here, college here, and then now PDL with Albuquerque.
I came my senior year to Arizona, my senior year of high school, and that was a bigger transition because it was where I lived in this town, Casa Grande. It's a lot smaller and everything, but now I think I like it here. Maybe sometimes a little more than back home.
A little more than back home, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So what's the overall goal, Seb? What do you want to do? What do we want to accomplish here in the States?
I'd like to try my luck, go pro. I think definitely with the PDL, working hard and that, it's there to do.
Just keep playing and see what happens. Enjoy the time I have to play, and from there we'll see.
All right, well, I appreciate you guys. Nicholas Perez, he's in the center mid, right back. Seb Gray, guys, best of luck.
Thank you.
Keep getting those W's. We need them, right? Go Albuquerque Soul. For the entire guest today, we appreciate it. For our director, producer, Jason Pohl, putting this baby together. He does a great job every time. Join us next time. ABQ Soul, by the way, on the 1st of July, live. It's going to be on My 50 TV at 7:30. That'll be at UNM Stadium if you want to go there live. But we'll also have it live broadcast on My 50 TV statewide here in New Mexico. I'm Adam Deal saying so long. Soccer Talk with the Soul.
We wanted to support soccer as a whole. So when we saw the opportunity to try to create a home or a hub and support the Soul while doing it, we thought it'd be a great idea. When I saw what the Soul were doing, I thought, how can we bridge the gap and try to get the youth soccer involved with the Soul soccer and try to bring those things together and at the same time provide support to the Soul through things like watch parties and getting people excited about it. You'll find that there's a lot of people that relate to this game on an international basis, on a local basis, whether it's the MLS or just a team like the Soul that they can get involved with in their community and feel associated with and supported. We went to an RSL game and it was just mind-boggling how many fans were there, the type of support they had, and it was exciting. And I think that Albuquerque's the type of community that could probably support something like that if we could make it happen.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today. Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutz Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school leather jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
The Barley Room, proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire. So maintaining this old car is your best option. Keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but 2 great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill. Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Los Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203. Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD